How's everybody doing? All right, happy Friday. Yay! It is my favorite day of the week. We are doing a sewing project today by Roxanne Carter using Tula Pink fabric. No one is surprised. I've got my 1935 school bell all set here and ready to be my little sewing buddy, and I'm going to pull up my feeds and say hi to some friends. TGIF, everybody. Cheers. It has been one heck of a week around here. Still not at 100%. This COVID thing is really kicking my tail. I am beginning to smell things. Not so much taste things, but definitely I can tell now if things are sweet or salty, but that's about it. Nothing has a flavor to it or anything. Okay, let me pull up my my feeds. And let me go over to YouTube. Go to live. So it is definitely January in North Idaho. Look how gloomy and doomy it is outside. It is pretty bad. All right, let me say hi to some friends. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Sandy Martin's on. Hi, Sweet Pea. Polly's on. Hi, Polly. Missy's on. Cindy's on from Michigan. Gloria Ann is here. Gloria Ann, I'm sorry, is here tonight. 35 below. Hello. Staying in fire. Yeah, staying as a fire is roaring. Absolutely. Isabel's on. Hi, Sweet Pea. All right, let's see. Renata's on. Hi, Renata in Connecticut. I'm glad you're here. And Susan is on. Hello, Susan. All right, let me say hi to some buddies out here in Facebook land. Angel's on. Hi, Sweet Pea. She says TGIF. Nancy's on from Lake Stevens. Oh, Facebook was a little lagging today. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Linda Wood is on. Kathy's on. Judy's on from El Dorado, Kansas. Debbie Allen Sinclair is on from Kentucky. Hi, Debbie. Odie's on. Hello. Bonnie, I saw a picture of your new puppy. Girl, are you crazy? What does Willow think of the new puppy? I need the whole skinny. Mel's here. Kathy's on from East Texas. Donna Moore is on. Hi. Franny's on. Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette is on from Ontario. Ooh, 67 degrees in Houston. Yes, please. Let's see here. Cindy Matthews said happy Sippy. She was trying to say Sippy Friday, but she said Skippy Friday. I think Skippy Friday also applies, just for the record. Hi, Judy P. Hello, Kim from Moosehorn, Manitoba. Thanks for joining us. And Cindy and Jen are on. Hi, Jen. How you doing, girl? Why does it say community standards? I don't know. Maybe I've been flagged because of one of you. No, I'm just kidding. Franny, maybe yours just says that. Hi, Jen. Bonnie Pelton says that her Willow, who is a Shih Tzu, is just beginning to tolerate the new puppy. Your new puppy's so cute. She's a little black and white little fluff ball. Hi, Judy Colby from sunny California. As you can see, I am not in sunny California. All right, tonight I'm just been webbing my Tula Pink quilt. It was a layered cake. Beth is on from Ohio. Hi, my dear. Long time no speak. Tavi Pinchot is on from Wyoming. Hi, Tavi. And George is on from Maryland. Hello, George. Jerry Hendricks is on. Hi, Jerry. Gosh, lots of people are on tonight. That's awesome. All right, well, I'm just going to start. Let me do this. Let me join my screens here so you guys can see what I'm working on. Is it dashboard or grid? Dashboard. Okay. Oh, dang it. Ah, there I am. So quit hitting things, Darlene. Okay. There we are. Oop, one more thing. Okay. So, so explain to me how you web. Okay. Hi, Pam from Maine. So this is called webbing. See how, so basically I am stringing the whole quilt together without breaking threads, and I'm building rows, and as soon as my, like this is row 1. Uh-oh, Bernadette's husband is creeping again. So here's the row 1, there's row 2, and I'm webbing by just adding on to one edge, and then as soon as I have all of my rows, then I just start flipping it together, right sides together, and sewing rows to rows. So that's how you web a quilt together. You don't break any threads. Sandy Reese says, oh, wait a second. Sandy, you're up in New Hampshire, right? She says, it's very cold tonight and going to snow tomorrow. Yikes. Snow. It is. I agree, Polly. It's the best way to get through these blurry January nights. I totally agree with you. Hi, Marilyn Ray out on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Cindy says, did some EPP, it's English paper piecing, hexies, and tore my sewing room apart to reorganize. Well, that doesn't sound like a good idea. All right, you guys, I'm just going to start webbing. So my first row is the 1.5" row. So I'm just going to add my next sashing strip on, making sure I get my right sides together. It's a white on white tonal fabric, so it's a little hard to tell. So I don't think my mom-in-law is on, but she and my father-in-law are leaving to go on a cruise tomorrow. Lucky guys. So just so you guys know, I used to have this all out on my design wall, and see it says row 4. So I pinned all of my things together in so that I can just pull right off of the top. Yeah, the machines behind me are actually chain stitchers, Judy. Yeah, you do have to be very organized, Judy P, on your blocks in order to do it like this. I've done several like this. So hello, Picola Chase, thanks for joining us. Polly says, I stopped and rearranged my sewing room den this week. I have so much room. I'll bet. Okay, I'm just gonna add my next, oh wait, I need to make sure I'm, yep, doing this right. Cool. I was smart and pinned my columns, my rows together, because otherwise I would have been too confused. Woo, this is a zippy little machine. Okay, so this is the 1935 that I have for sale out on the web. She's a beautiful school bell. So there's this long story. I sold my, my stitch integrity isn't quite right. I'm going to tighten my tension. I sold my Mary, which was my precious school bell, to beautiful Della in Louisiana. And I did that because I thought I was getting a 35 that I could paint, because I really, really want a paintable machine. And my 34 was way too nice to paint. So when this machine showed up, I decided she was also too nice to paint. So I am selling this one now, and I have another 1935 that I'm supposed to be picking up this weekend, and when I'm in Western Washington, from some friends. And so that is going to be the one that I'm going to paint. I do not have a vendetta against black machines. I really just want one that looks like the dog chewed on it, because she's going to get a new color and a new lease on life, and I don't want to paint something that has any aesthetic redeeming value. I feel like we need to preserve as much as possible. But in the case like the other 35 that I'm getting, where it's not really possible to preserve her, then I feel like it's okay to paint that machine. So Bernadette, this is a big quilt, like a large lap quilt. I don't know I actually lost the pattern, so I'm all just, I know, big shocker, Darlene lost a piece or a pattern. I'm just kind of going through on memory trying to put this together, but it's going to be a big lap quilt because these are 10-inch blocks, and I think we have, it's probably going to be 70 wide and 90 long, so it's going to be a big one. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. I need another lap quilt like I need a hole in my head, if you know what I mean. So this machine didn't come, I got a really good price on it because it didn't come with its original bobbin casing. And I tried to use one of the aftermarket ones, and it kept snapping the thread every single time I would start out. So I'm glad that I had another vintage bobbin casing down in Arizona, and my father-in-law sent it to me. So now she is not breaking every single time. The thread is not breaking every time I start out, so that's a good thing. So my poor in-laws have been so convicted about going on their big cruise that's been in the works for over a year, and just hoping that they, you know, the cruise ships would continue to cruise and all of that. They had to go for their COVID test today and everything. They passed that with flying colors. They've been staying in and not seeing anybody because they didn't want to catch anything and then not be able to go on the cruise. So let's see here. Sandy says, yes, there's a scammer. Ignore the link on YouTubers. Let's see. Polly said, I thought I would be an easy tidy up and ended up taking all week. Oh, that is one big, my sewing room at home is a nightmare because I just have a sewing corner now. Moving into the house here in Sandpoint, we didn't designate I don't have like an actual room anymore because we moved the business here. So it's been really sad because I had to give up my designated sewing space. So I have a corner in my very large primary master bedroom. And so I could have very little things with me at the new house. So it's been easy to keep organized. I will say I did break my stash out of storage, so that's been there, and it worked really well because I needed to make like a cafe style curtain for my front door, and I had the fabric already in my bag of tricks. So that, what happened here? Well, that's not good. I gotta fix that. That's not good. I have a loose little end in the middle. So, what have you guys been working on? I talked to Odie this week. I was on with Bernadette this week. Have you guys been working on anything fun? Yeah. Let's get our seam right, Darlene. I had so much fun today. I taught my second part of my machine quilting on your home sewing machine class in the shop, and those ladies were just a hoot, so that was super fun. They did wear me out just a bit though. Yes, there is lots of videos on how to web the quilts together. I was probably quilting for 4 or 5 years before anybody showed me this technique. I would never put together another top any other way. This is the only way that I do it now. Not sure it's even possible, but this machine appears to be faster than my other school bell. She is just tenacious. Okay. I do not pin, Odie. I am anti-pin. I used to pin everything and it just slows me down. So now I don't even press. I just know which way I want my seam allowances to go and I fold them there and then I just stitch them down. Susan says, working on my daughter's wedding dress. Good Lord, Susan, good for you. She says, not using my Dorothy, that's her featherweight, I think, but she helped me piece their wedding quilt. That's awesome. Very cool. Cindy says, I need to have a speed to start putting together 120 flying geese. Ooh, blocks already, just need to sew rows. 120 flying geese sounds horrible. Oh, Sandy started a buffalo check quilt on Wednesday night. What's that look like, Sandy? Let's see here. So Kathy in SoCal says, took a K-Facet class today and again tomorrow. Fun, very fun. Odie says, hoping to finish up my work in progress before picking a new project. I have 6. Wait, 7. Girl, I'm grounding you from starting anything new. Judy says, getting rid of lots of old sewing magazines, donating to a sewing group. That is the best way, I think, to clean out your patterns and books that you're not using. Someone else could find a lot of value in them, so that's pretty cool. Good for you, Miss Judy. Gwen, hi Gwen, thanks for joining us. Replacing a zipper in the jacket and finishing up some UFOs before surgery in 2 weeks. I take it you won't be sewing for a little bit. Well, I hope you are enjoying your time. She does have the deep sound. Yes, she does have the deep gears, Miss Odie. I know, Della, faster than Mary, if that's possible. It's crazy. How are you, Miss Della? I hope you're doing well. George says, I made a quilt for a beginning quilt class I'm teaching for the shop I work for. That's awesome, George. Very cool. I have my beginning piecing class. I haven't even finished my sample. Oops. Oopsie. I'm like, this is what it should look like, and I showed them a picture. Oh no, Judy P. She has no sewing machine in Florida, finishing knitting a Christmas stocking in the first inalienable quarter of a quilted Afghan. How long are you there for? How can I would die without a sewing machine. That's awful. Polly supports my desire to not pin. She says, I don't pin either. It slows me down. Hi, Donna. Hi, Feather Queen. Yes, we have more snow, Miss Donna. More snow. She might be, Trixie Dale's pretty fast, Sandy, but this one is pretty up there with one of the fastest machines I've ever worked on. Kathy Harris says, I have 2 charity quilts in progress, 1 rainbow crumb block and 1 Jegs X pattern and batiks in white. That's awesome. Very cool. Kathy in East Texas says, working on a granny square table topper, working on color placement, can't make up my mind. I hate that when I'm being indecisive about quilts. Completely. Let's see. Sunny says, finally finished my quilt jacket pattern, the beach comber. Reagan wants me to make her one of those. It's a jacket. It's against my principles. I sew in 1 dimension, not 3 dimension. Let's see, Marilyn Ray. Hi, Marilyn. Said, just finished a baby quilt for my new granddaughter arriving on Tuesday. Congratulations, Marilyn. That's awesome. Polly says, the ladies from the local sew group are coming to collect my old fabrics and my own old sewing machine. I know they will keep them busy at their stitch and bitch. That's kind of what this show is. We call it a sip and sew to keep it PG, but we all know what we're here for. Oh, Franny's also working on one of those quilts, a Jagged X. Therese, hi Therese. She said she made 2 dog beds for my grandson. Now it's time to get back to my quilt. Absolutely. Judy P, I was wondering what the inalienable last quarter of, or first quarter of the Afghan was. I'm glad you cleared that up. She meant last quarter. Let's see. Oh gosh. Sandy Martin says, just big squares, a light and a dark, and blend the light and the dark. Kind of reminds me of a flannel shirt. Oh, very cool. Susan says, hey, my quilting group also calls ourselves the Stitch and Bitch group. Nice. Love that name. You guys. You guys. So I'm starting to I bought my tickets for Phoenix this week. I'm literally feel like I'm counting down the minutes. I just need a little sun on my head. Reagan is mad because she is not coming with me on this trip to Phoenix. She usually does come. She likes hanging out with Grandma, and her best friend Geneva is there. But honestly, I need one of the reasons why we opened the shop together, her and I, is because I kind of need her to be here when I can't. And so this is the first time since we opened the retail space that it's kind of biting her in the tail a little bit. So she's not very happy with me. But what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I could have someone else come in and watch the shop, but the problem is then I would kind of worry about the shop, and I know if she's here, I don't have to worry about it, and it makes it easier for me to focus on teaching and all of the workshops I have in Phoenix. So as much as I am sorry that she can't come, part of me is like, you kind of knew this when we opened the store, that you weren't going to be able to travel with me as much. I am going to bring her with me to Omaha this next time in June though, because those workshops are so big and so many people, I really need a second set of hands. And it's worth it to me to close the shop for a day or two to be able to have her with me. So she will be coming to Omaha with me in June. Let's see here. Oh, Cindy also has a great grand due. Very cool, you guys. That's awesome. Polly says, just think of the quilt quote as an origami quilt. That's how it is sewing clothes. Yes. I don't know. I can't. I don't think I can do it. I think I got kicked off of Facebook. Hold on. What's going on? What is going on? That's weird. Facebook. Okay. I think I'm back on now. Sorry about that. If I freeze up, just refresh. Okay. I'm making good progress here. So there was a gal in my class today that had COVID like a week before I did. And she told me that it took her almost 25 days. 25 days to feel better. And I'm like, oh, good night. So I'm still not at 100%. I'm hoping that a little bit of break this weekend traveling over to Western Washington will help me catch up the rest on my sleep and my rest. Although I think I'm going to be running around quite a bit, and it's a good 6-hour drive over a treacherous mountain pass to and fro, so that won't be very much fun, but at least the passes are clear and we're not supposed to be getting any more snow while I'm there. So that's good. Let's see here. It is coming along beautifully. That was weird. I think I got disconnected, but I'm glad you guys I'm glad you guys didn't lose me. Sandy Fowler's on. Hi, Sandy. She said, just got back from my afternoon hike at 72 in Phoenix there. Hope it holds for your visit. Me too. Gwen wants to know what Tula Pink line this is. I knew someone was going to ask me that. It's the one with the unicorn. The name is totally escaping me right now, Gwen. I'm so sorry. Miss Sunny, I am going to Phoenix to teach 4 workshops. I'm teaching obviously a featherweight spa day. I am teaching a 1-day quilt as you go class and a 2-day beginning machine quilting class. I'll be there for like the business week, the second week in February. I'm excited. Phoenix is always really, really, really good to me. My friends shop there, A Quilter's Oasis, and it's actually in Mesa. She always is, stacks my workshops up full, and I come back very tired, but really fulfilled from all of the teaching and the wonderful students I have in my classes. So I also will be in Omaha in June. That right now is what is on the calendar. So there might be more coming, but that's all I have right now. No, it's not homemade, Odie. It's not Pinkerville. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm totally drawing. This is the COVID brain. I can't remember anything. It has a unicorn in it. I've had it a really long time. It's definitely an older pattern, an older line. Therese, the pattern I'm doing is called Fractured Star, and it's written by Roxanne Carter. She has an Etsy boutique, and this particular pattern is really good for working with pre-cuts, layered cakes, which are 10-inch squares. So if you have a line of fabric that has a large scale print, this fractured square quilt is perfect for it. Not Curious Sir. Nope, that's not it. That's too new. Zuma, that's it. Thank you. I knew someone would. I knew someone would come up with it. Susan, I'd love to come to Ohio someday. I'm not going to be at QuiltCon. That's also in Phoenix. QuiltCon is the modern quilt thing, and I think they were talking about moving it to virtual. I am going to be at Sew Expo, which is the big conference here in the Pacific Northwest, which is usually at the Puyallup Fairgrounds, and it is virtual this year. I'm a vendor, and I'm doing some speaking on their free stage. Pinkerville, that's it. Thanks, guys. It's Pinkerville. That's the name of this line. Actually, I think it has, well, no, it is Pinkerville, not Zuma. That's a bad Tula Pink fan to not know that, right? Don't tell her, if anybody knows her. Okay. I got like 2 more rows and I'm done. Kathy, I'd love to come to Texas. I know my mom would be happy too. She lives in Texas. Okay. Gwen, you haven't added any Tula Pink to your collections yet? What? I've been told several times by you all here online that I'm a bad influence, that you had no knowledge of Tula before you met me. You're welcome. Odie says, so we better use our Tula fabric, or is it just for petting? Well, so that's a good question, Odie. I definitely have Tula in my long-term stash that is just going to be for petting. This was a layered cake, and if you look up Pinkerville layered cake, it was selling for a good amount of money. I did not know that before I cut into it, just for the record. Whee! So Ray and Andy left early today. They're going home to make me dinner. I'm like, okay, that works for me. Fran says, I was going to stitch tonight and watch you, but I can't do both for some reason. I'll just keep watching. Okay. It's hard to focus on two things at the same time. COVID. I know, Sandy, I know. Polly says, Darlene, you have fully converted me to Tula. Oh, good. I had not heard of her before, and now I have loads of her hardware and too much fabric. Sorry, and you're welcome, Polly. Sorry, and you're welcome. I mean, what can I say? You have good taste. Did I see, I didn't watch her Tula Tuesday this week, but did I see she's re-releasing Pinkerville? No, it's the one with the Elizabeth, what was that one called? Elizabeth, whatever. It was the one with the cameo that looked like Queen Elizabeth. Did I see she's re-releasing that one? That was one of her very early lines. Redid Pinkerville. Okay, and new palettes, not until fall. Okay. I thought I saw something about that. Polly says, bank account says, ouch. Mm-hmm. It is, yes, finally. So the days have started to get longer, and it's not pitch black when I go on with you guys anymore. It's starting to get dark between 4 and 5. Oh, you guys, that's going to be dangerous. Hi, Mel. She says, made a few pillowcases with Tula. Yay. And Kathy Zoka popped on from Addie. Hi, sweet pea. Lolly says, tuning in late, but live, which is rare for me. Paris is what Tula's re-releasing. Parisville. That's right. I thought so. I know Gloria Ann, she says Tula's fabrics are too pretty to cut. I get every word in that statement. I get it. This was her signature fabric for Pinkerville with the unicorn. I hated kind of slicing them up like that. Parisville, yes, Tula's first release. So I actually have original Parisville fabric. I've always have to rush home because I cannot see to drive when it's dark. Oh, Parisville Deja Vu. She's renaming it. That's pretty cool. Get my fingers out of the way. Cheese and crackers here. Just got a new colorway. It's not offered those collectors her first line for Free Spirit. That's right. See, you guys are keeping me in the know here. I was a fan way back then when she was with the other fabric manufacturer. Let's see here. Holly says, I'm having that issue too, Glory Ann, but the things that we make with it really shine. It's true. It's true. So all you guys will laugh. I've decided that my daughter Ray has the travel bug. She loves to research things on the internet. Reminds me of her daddy. And then make plans. So we have a family wedding this spring in Austin, Texas, and Ray was invited by evil twin Denise and her husband to go with them to the wedding, and they're stopping by Nashville first and then going on to Austin in May. And so Ray's all excited about being able to go check out some new cities in May. I think I'm just going to fly in for the wedding the day before, fly out the day after. Are these Band-Aids close to me? Probably. I don't see what you're looking at, but it's very likely that I have Band-Aids within reach, for sure. Therese, this quilt is going to be a good size lap quilt, like at least 70 wide and 90 long, I believe. So anyway, she's Reagan with her travel bug is making lists of like museums and all of that in Nashville and Austin. She wants to go down to Phoenix without me, which is fine because it's actually easier for her to go without me than with me. And she also wants to go to a young adult conference in Fort Worth at Christmas this year. So she's looking to do that also. And I'm like, girl, good for you. I love that she has that desire to want to go see and do. When I was a younger woman, I worked for a telecommunications company and I traveled quite extensively with my job, visiting clients and all that fun stuff. And so I guess I got that wanderlust out of my system, because now I'm like, oh, Seattle is a really long way. But she still has the bug, which I think is kind of fun. She's been looking up Airbnbs and museums and like she was trying to figure out if she could make it to Waco to see the Magnolia stuff, if she flew into Austin, and she's so funny. Hi, Peggy Morrison. Hello. They should make Tula Band-Aids, Missy. That's a great idea. Cindy in Michigan says, my first big quilt last year was the Galactic Explosion from Tula's line work. Just have to bind it. That was one of my favorite collections of hers. The black and white one, actually. Because I love that it wasn't a straight black and white quilt. In fact, I loved the fact that she, her signature is to bury these animals in the fabric. And I love that, like, the line work had, like, the skunk and the lemur. I think the lemur one was my favorite, actually, because I liked that it looked like it was, like, in that 1950s, like, comic strip kind of color palette. And it was just so beautiful. So beautiful. Sandy says, I love Little Stinker from Lineworks. I bought some to pet and some to cut into. No. There she goes, is that bad? No, totally. I support you in that, Sandy. I support you in that. Oh my goodness, I'm like almost on my last row here. Oh. Did I show you guys the quilt I finished? I think I did, right? Bernadette says, I love line work, 2 quilts. Yeah, I've quilted a couple, but I've only made one for myself. It is, I don't think it's slick. A lot of the snow and ice, thank goodness, has melted, Miss Kathy. Wedding in Austin and going to Tennessee, very long distance, just want to travel between. They're flying. They're flying to Nashville and then flying to Austin. She'll be gone like almost 10 days. So Sandy, when I am buying Tula, if I'm buying Tula for just my stash, so we're talking about petting only, not cutting into, I usually buy a yard of everything, because then I have more than enough to do something with if I want to do something with down the road and still have enough left over. What I've been doing lately is just buying her kits, because then I don't have to I'll make a specific project, I'll have the specific project, and then I'm done with it. I don't feel like I need to have a bunch left over in reserve. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately, is just buying kits that are cultivated by her, and that's been working really well for me. Odie says, no less than 3 yards. I love you guys. So if it's a border print, like something you're going to want to use as a border, then 3 yards is like barely enough. Let's see. Oh, Gwen says she has to head back to work. Glad to hear you're feeling better. Have a good night. You too. Have a good night, my dear. Okay, let's see here. Boop, boop. Uh-oh, I'm almost out of my little strippies, so I'm going to have to quit for the night here. So you guys, you know that we've had a saga with Ray's car, her older 4Runner. After I got her tire fixed, because it was losing air, it had a leaky valve stem. We got it finally back from the shop. They had it almost 2 weeks. New radiator, new spark plugs, new wires. Ugh. And then the tire wasn't holding pressure again. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. So Andy took it in again today. This time it was that the bead was loose, and so she had to have the whole tire reset. Like, oh my gosh, this poor girl just wants her car running so she can go around and do all of the things without having to use one of our cars. And she just keeps being at a total disadvantage. Feel terrible for her. I know it's going to be a good car once we get over the hump of these little, fixes, but good night. It seems like it's at the repair shop or the tire shop every week. All right. So, Miss Stella, I buy... Judy, you're welcome. She says, thanks for the Sip and Sew. Sip and Sew Fridays. Let's see. The girls I know say 1 yard if you like it, 2 or 3 if you can, for sure. Okay, Odie says, let's cut some for a project and decide what to keep. But I've not always cut into yardage yet. But will soon. Okay, good. She does have lots of fabric in her kits, Bernadette. I agree. So Della says, where do I buy my Tula quilts kits from. So there is a website that I have shopped at multiple times called strawberryquiltcake.com. They do all the pre-releases, so you have to buy and pay for the quilt like 6 months in advance, and then she ships it to you when the fabric ships. I've used her 2 or 3 times, and that's what I've used. A lot of my buddies, like Kathy down in Quilters Oasis and Mesa, they'll do pre-orders too, pre-sales, so I do recommend doing that. Tula Pink in her shop should be able to find them. Yes, for sure. I am webbing the quilt. Oh, yeah. Loose strips between the blocks, that's why. Yes. All right. No. Oh, gosh. A minimum cut for anything I buy is a meter. Sandy says, I think I bought 1 yard to stash and 1 yard to sew. Just gotta love that skunk. That little stinker is cute. Yes, it was a broken bead on her wheel. But they fixed it for free, so it didn't cost us anything, which is good. Okay, I think I gotta go cut more of this. You guys want to come to the cutting table with me? Gotta walk away from my... Okay, I'll be right back. You guys are gonna come with me here. Hi. Okay, come with me while I cut more strips. Okay, just gotta cut more strips here. Here we go. All right, I'm back. Okay. Polly says that's not easy to find Tula over in the UK, but I've stumbled upon a shop that has lots of her stuff. Lucky girl. All right, let's see her. My strips are 1.5 inch strips. There's narrow. Do I see another script die? Needed? Oh, yeah. Oh, you did buy the clams, Odie. Yeah, a 1.5 inch strip would be good. For my AccuQuilt system. All right, off I go. These are 1.5 inch strips. I already had my thing pre-cut to 10 inches, salvage to salvage, and I'm just sub-cutting them into 1.5 inch rectangles. I'm hoping I have enough of my corner posts because I can't get any more of this yellow fabric. So we might, if I run out, we might get a little creative at the end. Mary's here. Hi, Mary. I was wondering where you were, girl. Are you at work? Bernadette said, I did a thing this week. Uh-oh. I ordered a sit-down. Bernadette. What? Oh, congratulations. You know I have the 24 inch with the computer system. That is, you are going to have so SEW much fun. Oh, Dad's here tonight. Nice. Hi, Peggy. I was thinking about you today. She says it's snowing in Iowa. That doesn't sound very much fun. Polly says, I bought some cream fairy dust. Yes, I love the fairy dust. So much fun. Oh my gosh, Bernadette, you are in for so much fun with the sit down Bernina. So before my APQS Millennium died and I had to buy another full-size commercial long arm, that was kind of my plan, Bernadette. I was going to just give up quilting for other people and just quilt for myself. And then the Millennium died over a $50 wheel, and I ended up having to buy a full-size commercial Bernina, the 24-inch that runs on the frame with their software. And so now I am quilting for other people for at least 5 more years until it's paid for. Fairy dust is what I need to cut into. I just can't. I love the fairy dust. It's so pretty. I love the rainbow on it. So pretty. This fabric, this background fabric, is hard to tell which way is up and which way is down. Oh, Bernadette's been wanting one of those since 2017. Well, you have definitely waited. Oh, Polly's green with envy, she says over on YouTube. Okay, one more row, one more big row. So once I get all of these webbed together, then I go through and start sewing row to row, which should be a pretty quick process. Because it's all just webbed and ready to go. I don't have to place anything. Franny, Bernadette's in Canada, my dear. Bernadette says I may get the studio frame in 2 to 3 years. It's the problem with the studio frame, Bernadette, is you have to have room for it. So like I've had a long arm in my home for 16 years, and every time we've moved, which has been more times than I care to mention, I've had to make sure that I have the space either in an open formal living room or in a bedroom for the full 12-foot frame. And so I think you're way smarter getting the sit down, which takes a lot less space, and also the learning curve on moving the machine over the quilt versus moving the quilt under the machine is not as easy as it sounds. So I think you're starting in the right place. I know I have several friends, well, including Roxanne Carter, who's my friend that designed this this fractured square quilt, that started out or was doing so many quilts for her quilting patterns and for samples, and she decided to buy a long arm thinking she was going to save herself some money not having to pay a quilter to finish her samples, and she didn't like it. She ended up selling it. So it's not for everybody, the frame with the machine moving over the quilt. I think it's definitely a different experience. Oh, thanks, Picola Chase. Sandy Martin says, how exciting, Bernadette. You'll have to keep us posted on all the fun. When does it show up? Bernadette, when's it come in? I know that when I bought mine, I had to be able to buy a floor model, and it was going to be almost 3 months because of the chip shortage before I could get one. So this was August, and it couldn't have been delivered until November. Oh, just a few weeks. That's awesome. Very cool. Paul, if you're creeping, you're a very good man for letting Bernadette get that. I love this fabric. Isn't this pretty? I love the red. All right, friends. Well, let's see here. A couple more comments. Sitting down for my future as well. Yes, I agree. Piccola. Susan says, my husband and I were given a Singer 3115, an industrial machine with a deep throat and a table. We'll have Hume overhaul the machine and make it. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea, Susan. It's a 1938 model. That's awesome. Oh, we'll have your husband do the overhaul. Uh-oh. Bernadette says that we scared him off. Why did we scare him off? Come on, Paul, you're tougher than that. All right, friends, I better jump off before they throw me off. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Just a reminder that I will not be on Monday. Ask the Doctor is canceled because I'll literally be driving back over the mountain pass on Monday for after the services. Yes, it is like a handy quilter. Missy, yes. It would be nice to baste on the bigger frame. Poor Paul. Paul seems like he's got thicker skin than that. All right, friends. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. If you're in Sandpoint, we'll be closing early tomorrow at noon, so I can head over to Western Washington. If you're in Western Washington, I might bump into you this weekend. You never know. I hope everybody has a safe and sane weekend. We'll not see you on Monday, but I'll be back for Featherweight University on Wednesday, right here on Facebook and YouTube at 4 o'clock Pacific. I hope everybody has a great weekend. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye.